Toronto has 5 main forms of public transportation. GO trains or GO Transit, the Up Express to the airport, and 3 different TTC vehicles, the subway, buses, and streetcars. In this video, I'm going to discuss all 5 of those forms of public transportation within Toronto and give you some tips on using it. Please hit a like on the video and subscribe to the channel to get notified about upcoming videos in the future. Union Station in downtown Toronto is the main transit hub for the Toronto area, and so that's where I'm going to start this video. All GO trains come in and out of Union Station, as well as the Line 1 subway. Up Express trains also start their journey from Union Station. There are also additionally bus and train transfers to many other destinations in Canada and as well the United States, such as New York City, London, Ontario, Ottawa, Windsor, Montreal. While you are in Union Station, be sure to check out the architecture as well. It was completed in 1927 and is really stunning, really well built piece of architecture. So to take the subway card, you can just get a single ride, or you can use the Presto Card, which is Southern Ontario's tap on, tap off transit card. It can be used on GO trains, Up Express, TTC Subway, many different transit systems in Southern Ontario. When you're entering either the subway or the GO train, you tap on to let the system know that you are in a fare paid zone. With GO trains, you can also use your credit card as well to tap on and tap off. One thing to note with the Presto Card, with the subway you don't need to tap off, whereas with the GO trains you do, because the subway is one price no matter where you go, whereas the GO train, the price depends on your distance, how far you travel. There are 7 different GO train routes and many different bus line routes. The advantage of the trains is that they're obviously on their own track, so unlike the buses, which have to deal with regular Toronto traffic, you really want to hope that you're going to be on one of the train lines, because the buses, I mean, they're stuck in traffic just like cars. The 7 different train routes that you can ride on GO Transit are Lakeshore West, which goes to Hamilton and Niagara Falls, Lakeshore East, which goes to Oshawa, Milton, Kitchener, Barrie, Richmond Hill, and Stouffville. And of course, these lines, there's many different cities in between. Those are just the end destinations. When you use your Presto Card on the GO train, and once you've tapped off at Union Station, you can actually transfer for free to the subway. The GO trains have what I like to refer to as 2.5 floors. So there's the main floor right when you get on. There's kind of like a half floor as you're going up the stairs. And then there is the top floor. And the top floor is often what they call a silent zone. So you're not really supposed to talk loud or talk on your phone. The seat setup on the GO trains is usually 4 seats, kind of 2 seats facing each other, and you just choose your seat. You're not assigned a seat number on your ticket. As I mentioned earlier, you can use your Presto Card that you tap on, tap off. You can also use a credit card to tap on, tap off, or you can buy single ride tickets. And there are special prices for kids and seniors. Make sure to tap on before you get on the train, because there's actually no tap station on the train. It's kind of on the platforms or right before the stairs before you get on the train. And I have seen fare inspectors give out tickets. Basically, they come onto the train, walk around, and you have to show or scan your proof of payment. And if you don't have that, you get a fairly expensive ticket. I believe it's a few $100s approximately. There are charging stations on the train, but they are not in every seat, I noticed. I find the trains to be generally clean, but as you can see here, there's pretty nasty stain on that seat. Trains at washrooms, the GO trains, and they are generally pretty clean. This one's super clean. The GO trains do have this safety system, but as they often mention, there is also a fine for misuse. There's also a Wi-Fi system for free on the train. Both of these machines, you can reload your Presto card, you can add money to it. $14.56 on there. Valid until 3:08 p.m. So when you're using the TTC, you do have what looks like a 2-hour window to transfer between other transit vehicles. Here I took too long to enter the station as I was filming, so definitely tap and then head straight in. Don't mess around like I did. I had to walk across the street and tell the transit employee what happened, so they let me in. This is a sign for the TTC, the Toronto Transit Commission. So the company that operates the subway, the buses, and the streetcars in the city of Toronto. If possible, you always want to make the subway your first option over buses and streetcars, because the subways are underground, they're on their own track, they're always going to be your fastest option. And I should clarify that comment in that really it depends where you are and where you're going as to what will be your fastest option. In the downtown, the subways, there's lots of stops, but the further you get out of downtown, you may have to take buses or streetcars, depending on the route that you're on. The Toronto subway has primarily 2 lines. One that goes north-south in like a U shape, and the bluer line which goes east-west. And then there's a new very small line, the purple line, which goes east-west in the north part of the city. If you need to transfer from one vehicle to another, so for example from a subway to a bus, you may want to get yourself one of these transfers at the subway station. If you're using your Presto card, you don't need to get one of these. You just tap on every time you get onto a new vehicle, and it kind of can see the route that you've taken. It should be a free transfer as well, as long as it's within that 2-hour window. Now that doesn't apply to the Up Express out to the airport or the GO trains, but the TTC vehicles should all have a free transfer within that time limit. Often, but not always, there'll be a sign on the subway right down beside the tracks. It says what the next station is and the direction that it's going to and where the last stop is on this line, which in this case would be Kipling. Now you'll be taking streetcars mostly dependent on where you're located. So streetcars are on very specific routes. The most common probably being the Queen Street route, King Street, Spadina. There's a number of routes, and some of them are on its own dedicated track, like Spadina, and other ones like Queen Street kind of share the traffic with cars. The new streetcars that the TTC have started acquiring from Bombardier since 2014, as pictured here, this one that's turning the corner with 5 cars is they're really beautiful and really modern feeling. There's now over 200 of this new streetcar in the TTC fleet. When the streetcars are on their own track like Spadina Avenue, you get a pretty similar experience to the subway. It kind of moves along, and unfortunately, like the Queen Street one, if it gets stuck in traffic or construction, I feel like sometimes you could even walk faster than them. The Spadina dedicated track too, while it is on its own track, it does have to stop for red lights. So in reality, it's not as fast as a subway, but definitely better than having to go in and out of traffic with cars. Unlike the GO trains, where the Presto stand is outside the car, on the streetcars you actually tap right after you've gotten onto the streetcar. The TTC has almost 200 different bus routes, and in my opinion is generally used to get to and from subway stations, and especially if you're kind of out of the way, not close to a major downtown subway station, you're more likely going to be using buses at that point. The TTC does have a goal to operate an emissions-free bus fleet by 2040. And has actually started to receive delivery on electric buses. They have approximately 60 buses now powered by lithium-ion batteries that take about 3 hours to recharge. The fleet also has diesel electric hybrid buses like this one. So the Up Express is a dedicated train that goes essentially from Union Station in downtown Toronto out to Pearson Airport and has 2 quick stops in between there. So unlike the TTC, where you can get it at potentially hundreds of different bus and subway stops and routes, the Up Express, you're either getting it at Union or Bloor GO Station or Weston GO Station. So it really just makes the 2 quick stops and then goes back and forth between Union and Pearson all day long. The trip itself is only 25 minutes to get from downtown Toronto out to Pearson Airport, and that is far, far better than you are ever going to get in a car journey. It's going to be probably twice that, maybe even more sometimes. The Up Express arrives at Terminal 1 at Pearson Airport, and if you need to get to Terminal 3, there is a free train almost as soon as you get off the Up Express that will take you to Terminal 3. The Up Express is great. It runs every 15 minutes for 19 and a half hours throughout the day. And just like most of the other transit systems I've covered, you can either purchase a single-use ticket or you can tap on with your Presto card. If you're interested in learning more about the Up Express, I actually have 2 other dedicated videos on the Up Express on my channel, one from Union to Pearson and one from Pearson to Union, as I really enjoy this system. I actually also have a playlist of other high-speed rail airport link systems that I've visited in the world and done videos about, so I'll put links to all of those in the description. On the screen here are the costs as of my video publish time for the different transit systems in Toronto. None of the drivers ever carry change or sell fares, so you have to have your proof of payment and your ticket essentially before you board, everything sorted out. Make sure to stay back from the yellow lines.